IVM.
Hello, welcome and Khushamadeen. You're listening to The Note with me, Mahroukh Inayat. 5 states are going to the polls in less than a month. And just like every other state elections, the results will have ramifications both for the state as well as the center. Of the 5 states, I'm going to talk about West Bengal today. The last episode of The Note, if you remember, focused on the Congress party and specifically on Rahul Gandhi, and why and how these elections and the results will also be a verdict on his leadership skills and the position he enjoys within the Congress party. He has enough to worry about. Now coming to West Bengal. For the uninitiated, West Bengal is ruled by the Trinamool Congress or the TMC, and this party is led by the fiery Mamata Banerjee. Now in the fray in West Bengal are 3 fronts essentially. One is, of course, Mamata's TMC. The second is the left, who, by the way, ruled West Bengal for decades, now in an alliance with the Congress party and the controversial ISF, which is actually led by a cleric. And the third one, of course, is the BJP. The BJP, in the last state election of West Bengal, won only 4 seats. And the reason I mention this is because the claim being made by the party, by the BJP, is that they will oust Mamata this time. Which means that the BJP, in order to get a clear majority in the state assembly, they need to win nearly 150 seats this time. That's a really tall order. Now, why do I feel it's advantage Mamata Banerjee this time? Number 1, there is really no direct competitor to Mamata. This is being seen as a direct competition between Mamata and the BJP. For many. The Congress might not like it, the left doesn't like it, but it is. It's actually translating into Mamata versus the BJP. Let me correct that. It's Mamata versus the Prime Minister. Mamata versus Modi. This means the BJP has no chief ministerial face and is working on the premise that Modi's popularity will swing the voters. It might have worked in Uttar Pradesh, but is unlikely to work in Bengal because Mamata continues to enjoy significant popularity. She's a 2-time chief minister already, and in state elections, voters traditionally want a chief ministerial face, one that they connect with, and Mamata has oodles of that. 2. The electoral makeup of West Bengal. Now, one needs to understand what is the electoral breakup of the state. 30% of West Bengal's population is Muslim, and by BJP's own admission, the Muslims don't vote for the party. So now the BJP needs to focus on the rest of the 70%, of which many Hindus are already supporting Mamata. Now, while the BJP is making every effort, and it's been successful to a certain degree, to polarize the narrative, to again make it Hindu-Muslim or Hindu versus the rest, it still is an uphill battle to convert into the required number. Imagine this, of the 70% Hindus, the BJP has to win 60% of the votes in order to get to the magic figure in the West Bengal Assembly. Now, Mamata, on the other hand, enjoys the support of the Muslims, that is 30% of the population, give or take a few percentages. And then, of course, she has sway over a significant number of the Hindu percentage of the votes. So that's an advantage for Mamata there again. Number 3, organizational base. Ask any psephologist, for a party to win an election, it is the strength of their cadre and their grassroots network. Now, the Trinamool Congress has managed to establish a strong network across the length and breadth of the state. And on the other hand, while the BJP, along with the help of several RSS affiliates, have also grown and spread, they still cannot match up to the TMC grassroots strength. And that is a huge advantage for Mamata. Number 4, there's no visible anti-incumbency. Of course, there are murmurs of protest against the Mamata Banerjee government. There are cases of corruption that are being brought out. And even though Mamata has completed 2 terms, it is not apparent whether this anti-incumbency factor has set in completely. The turnout at her rallies, for one, and the word on the street in West Bengal is that our fiery Didi has the love of the majority of Bengalis. Now, of course, this can completely change in what is going to be a long election in West Bengal. Finally, optics. While the BJP is using its social media machinery and its electioneering machinery as effectively as they always do, and I pretty much think they have controlled the narrative throughout this election, there was a recent incident in which Mamata Banerjee got injured. Now, I call it an incident because the TMC said it was an attack. The BJP said she's blowing it out of proportion. Anyways, that has injured Mamata Banerjee and relegated her to a wheelchair. Now, she is determined. She is the queen of optics. She knows how to utilize a setback. And if this injury can be called a setback, then she is utilizing it and using it to the hilt. She plans to campaign in that wheelchair, and that optic, that photo op, which the BJP always loves, they love photo ops. Well, Mamata is using this, and the sympathy card is definitely going to be in her favor. So yes, my money is on Didi. I believe this is going to be a bombshell of an election. Having said that, whatever be the outcome, this election is the high stakes game. And for a student of politics like me, it offers great insight into how parties operate, how narratives are formulated, and how elections are won. But in the end, voters can always manage to surprise you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the beauty of a democracy. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are @IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm Mahrukh Inayat on Twitter and Mahrukh Inayat on Instagram as well.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Would like to thank our sponsors on the network this week. Syed, thank you so much for sticking with us. On the Paisa Vaisa podcast, Anupam was joined by Sujata Alawat, who spoke about women's credit behavior and about improving credit scores for better financial health. Gauri Devi Dayal was joined by Barkha Dutt on This Round is on Me. She shared her thoughts on present-day media and journalism and some of her experiences from the days of her reporting. On The Habit Coach, Ashton talked about how meditation is like getting engrossed and absorbed into an activity where you are free of other thoughts and focus on just one thing. On Agra Station Adulthood, Ritasha and Ayushi were joined by Supriya and Priyanka Joshi for an honest and heartfelt conversation about life as a woman in the 2020s. On the Filter Coffee podcast this week, Karthik invited Bala Srinivas, who has been an active mentor in the startup scene in India, and they discuss its various aspects from funding to government support. Our traveling professor Siddharth talks about this academic document called Statement of Purpose and helps us understand its concept and shares and some tips on how to draft it well. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
2020 is a difficult year. A global pandemic, protests, elections, recessions, you get the picture. What we need is a space where we can have nuanced discussions about global affairs and foreign policy. That's where I come in. My name is Hamsini Hariharan and I host the States of Anarchy podcast. Every second Tuesday, I speak to experts in the field of international relations to make a little more sense of the world. So join me on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you're listening to me right now.